family? Welcome to the Level Up Podcast. Again, there's two things you can do in life. You can level up or you can remain the same. At Level Up Enterprises, we do more than just trading. We are essentially an ecosystem. Ecosystem where we have different vehicles, different pillars like trading, e-commerce, credit, business funding, wellness as well. And today we are honored to be with Mr. David stylesp. Welcome, brother. Love is love. How you doing, brother? How's everything?
Good.
How you feeling?
Leveled up.
Let's get it. So Styles, we all about community empowerment, and you are definitely a role model to us with what you're doing here at Pharmacy for Life. Can you talk about Pharmacy for Life? What is it about? What's the mission? What's the core value behind it?
Our mission is to heal. Pharmacy for Life, we're a family business. Shout out to my wife.
Indeed.
My partners. Shout out to my son, who usually he runs the store if not. Basically, if you know me, Juices for Life too, one of the co-founders. It's selling juice. I understood that I had to do something even further because when your mission is to spread health, I understood that everybody's not going to make it to the juice bars. So even at the juice bars, our motto is we put everything that's on the menu. We put the ingredients right there so you can go home and do it yourself. We encourage people to go home and do it themselves. When you lead by example, your family picks up more than you just come and spending money. But we also, from noticing that people were gravitating to the lifestyle, we wanted to introduce them to the next levels of health, which is
Definitely.
Herbs and oils.
Yeah.
Herbs and oils and just natural preventative measures. You should practice preventative measures when it comes to getting sick. Most of the things that happen with your body, most disease starts in the gut. So we just try to be mindful of what we're putting in our gut and what we're putting in our body and keep it pushing from that point.
Indeed. I definitely want to learn more about what was the breaking point that got you into this, but I definitely want to highlight how stylesp says that survival is gangster, how being healthy is gangster. So can you elaborate when it comes to that?
It's very simple. We especially Black and brown people, we at war at times. Indeed. At all times, and people are not noticing. But your health, like you just look at the stats. Who has the most high blood pressure? Diabetes. For our queens and princesses, prenatal issues. Just so sometimes you feel like, which it is. It's a lot of systematic things you have to break through. There's a lot of systematic things in place for us to fail. So we have to help each other with saying, all right, we're going to heal. And the most gangster thing is survival, because if I tell you, I tell him, if you go around this corner, they're shooting shit up. You're not going to go around the corner unless your family or, you have a real great reason to go around that corner. But if I tell most people the same thing about slow death, which is fast foods and the things we put in our body, people still go right around that corner.
Right.
So with that being said, that means we're at war.
Yeah.
And most people don't even know we're at war. So survival is always the most gangster shit. Yeah. I don't care where you're at and not in any walk of life, not just for gangsters. I mean, if you're in the corporate world, you're trying to survive.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
If you're anything you're trying to do, you wanna make sure you're surviving.
Definitely. What's up, family? Thank you again for watching this video. This video here is sponsored by Level Up Enterprises. Level Up Enterprises is the community and the ecosystem you need to be at if you want to level up. Level Up Enterprises has all the pillars: business credit, credit repair, real estate. We have trading, we have long-term investing, we have weekly classes. We help you and we empower you to become better. We provide you skill sets that you're able to feed you and yours. I'm telling you, this is the community to be in. We have helped thousands of people level up and become 6-figure and 7-figure earners. Click in the link in the bio. We'll see you there. There's two things you can do in life, and that is level up or remain the same. You know what we're doing.
Bring up a really excellent point. One of the things I want to highlight, you kind of touched is your birthday coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. But to me, it's around the journey. We young entrepreneurs here in the room, we're trying to create a difference. We're trying to help out people. So what is, like, you mentioned a lot of people that, you help basically get you to this business to where it is today. What is one advice as you continue, or that you've seen that a lot of young minds, they don't really have that broader thinking? What is one thing you would say that they should be going towards? To the same thing where you said the corporate world is like a jungle. You got to survive out there, especially now.
Well, I always tell be honest, I always tell people, do something you love. Do something you love. And I can only, that's the advice I can give, because I do things I believe in and I love, and I feel like if it doesn't work, it's not a loss, it becomes a lesson. It's not a loss, but if you don't love it and you just in it for the money,
Right.
when you lose money or you catch a loss, you may get discouraged and I want to continue on. As to where you love something, it's like, I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. All right, this happened, I'm gonna learn this from that mistake, and I'm just keep pushing. So I tell people, do something they love, or that they're highly interested in, or they're something that they can evolve as a human and spiritual being.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then just as a follow-up to that, how was your transition going from like music to now doing this? Are you still part of that? Like, how's that like?
People ask me that all the time. I don't look at it really as it's a transition, but it's not a transition. I'm just morphing into something more every day. It's just, as I grow, I get more mature. As I get older, I get more mature, I get wiser. And I incorporate almost everything I do that's why I do things I love.
Exactly.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
My lifestyle intersects constantly. So the transition was to bring back the information I have now to where I'm at. So it's not like I just going over here. I'm going over here for a reason to say, all right, here's the information we got to give to each other, and here's the knowledge we have to spread on. And when you know who you're doing something for, it's all part of it. It's just part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
You were born in Queens and then you moved to Yonkers.
Yes.
With your mom and your brother. How was that transition going from Queens to a new neighborhood?
When I moved to Yonkers, my brother wasn't born. I moved from Queens to Yonkers when I was 7. So that's eons ago. I feel more so like I'm Yonkers raised.
Indeed.
And I'm from Yonkers. So, but I think in retrospect, looking back, just going with the flow, it was different to be somewhere new. It's always different to be somewhere new, but that's pretty much my life. In general, I'm always somewhere new.
Indeed. And there you met Jada and Sheik, which is your core team. Can you talk about what's so magical and powerful about having a solid team with you that you could go far with?
Brotherhood.
Yep.
Brotherhood and camaraderie of, like having likenessness. Like you want to make it, and when you find like-minded people that's trying to go to the same place you're going, and you share the dream and you share the energy, it makes kind of everything easier. It makes things fall in place. Like, I'm a firm believer in being around like-minded people, and as you get older, as I say, life is a constant transition. Like, now that I'm older, there's some friends who I love them, they're like my brothers, but I have a limited amount of time. Because if we're not like-minded and we don't share the same goals, then we should just be hanging out for fun. But after a few hours, after the fun's up, I gotta cut it. I gotta move on. I gotta go figure it out. I'm on to different passions.
Yeah, indeed. What's your advice for the youth that maybe they have a circle that's not appropriate for their goals? Like, what's your advice to them?
Bounce. Find smarter people, find like-minded people, and you gotta have confidence in yourself first and foremost to do anything. Like I always tell, my biggest thing is not to be funny, but I want to impress me before I want to impress anybody in the world. Like if I can impress me, then it's
It's a layup. It's a layup.
Yeah. If I can take the time out and impress myself, you stop really worrying about what other people think, and then you don't have to really fit in a circle. A circle will just kind of come to you. It's like
you're the flow.
Yeah, you're the flow, and your energy attracts energy.
I love that. When it comes to entrepreneurship, lots of people, we got so many talented people in underserved communities. Mm-hmm. What's your advice when it comes to entrepreneurship? Them really exfoliating their talent and showcasing their talent out there.
It's different advice for different people, to be honest. Like I don't think that's it all depends on a person's personality. If you're reserved and you're a reserved guy and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, surround yourself around people who have thoughts and goals like you, but also you need somebody who has a different energy than you.
Indeed.
If you're a go-getter and you're wild and you're loud, make sure you put yourself around someone reserved and bounce off. So the advice for any person that's trying to be an entrepreneur is surround yourself with a good team. Surround yourself with smarter people that you can learn from. Keep learning. And do shit you love. Do shit you love. So a lot of people want to be hustlers. I look at a hustler and I'm a hustler. Fancy word for entrepreneur.
Right?
If you have go-getter to you, it's just being around the right go-getters and being sensible enough to know when you have to learn, when to be confident in what you already know, how to have self-belief, because a lot of people doubt you. Like there's a lot of things I would have never made it if I would have listened to what other people were saying. Like I would have just failed because I would have accepted the energy they was giving me back.
To elaborate on that, what do you think about having, like, you got to have a massive amount of self-belief to get what you want to be or where you want to go? Oftentimes people wait for that approval from others.
Yeah.
Like, what do you feel about that?
I don't do that at all. Here's another part of growth and maturity is learning how to not give a fuck in a positive way.
That's a fact.
I've learned over the years to not give a fuck, but it started from ignorance. Like I just didn't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. And then it was more so in a positive manner. You can't let other people's thoughts direct you. That's like letting somebody else in another car behind another wheel steer where you're going. You're over there in that car, in your own car driving. Why the fuck I'm gonna let you steer where I'm going? Like that doesn't make sense. You have to be able to have confidence, like you say, in yourself to know. Back to impress yourself, self-improve. So if I impress myself and I approve of myself, if you don't approve of it, I really don't give a fuck. In a positive manner, I'll listen to the constructive criticism if you have it. I'll take it. If someone else has it, I'll weigh it out. If I value what you say, I'll take that criticism and work on it. If I believe you don't know what you're talking about, I'm like, fuck out of here in a positive manner. Like, right. A lot of us take advice from people who aren't doing things.
Indeed.
Like, don't take advice from people who aren't doing things. Even sometimes people are doing things, and sometimes people who have more think they're entitled to an opinion of what you're doing in life. And a life life goes like this, and it goes up and down. So a lot of entrepreneurs also do look at what people have and their belongings and automatically think this is the person to listen to. But a lot of us sometimes don't calculate how did the person get the money? Like, what did they do for it before you just admire what he has and you know how he got it?
We got it.
Is that something you would want to do if it was bad? Like, you know what I mean? So I look to see who I can learn from, and I keep it pushing.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big advocate of you versus you. Like, only, like, you're your own self. Like, there's no competition, only yourself. Yeah. Like, you got to be better every single day. You got to go for that 1% every single day. Before we got into this, you know, recording this video, we talked about the rat race that we have in the hood. Yeah. Where people think that getting to riches, they have this fake persona of what it is. You know, can you elaborate on that?
Well, through culture, it's through almost every culture that's mainstream in America. If you look at it, it revolves around sex, money, and drugs. So everything you see on TV is glittery. Everything is beautiful. Everything is shiny. Everything is more of a, I got more cars than you, I have more watches than you, I have better bitches than you, I have a better house than you, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, this costs more. It's a very braggadocious world we're living in. With that being said, some people keep their eyes on the wrong prize. And if you're doing that, it's no balance. Like it's really no balance, because now you live in a world like where most people, you think about it, if you go to the hood and like you listen to the music, and the music and TV steers everything that's going on. Popular movies steer everything that's going on. But how many dudes in the hood could afford a beam off the scratch? A Benz off scratch? Like, who's really gonna go to the dealer? Like,
for the cash.
You can tell a couple homies, yo, let's go get Honda Civics today. Everybody can't do that. So everybody can't even afford a Honda Civic.
gonna get a bit.
He's Bentley dreams.
Yeah.
He's without. You at least need BMW work ethic.
You need BMW work ethic.
Right.
I love that.
But you need somebody. You can't just go from I can't afford a Honda Civic to I want a Rolls Royce and Bentley, but you don't even have BMW work ethic.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a journey. It's the journey.
Now paying the price.
Yeah, you have to understand. And then also the thing about financial wealth, which I learned a long time ago, if you look, and I don't care what world it is, this is corporate America, this is streets, this is music, this is fashion, this is all over. People tend to look up to people who have more without realizing if you repeatedly do that, right? Think about it. If that comes, oh wow, he got this, he got that, he got that. Eventually, it's gonna be like muscle memory for you to keep doing that, then you're also gonna look down on people who have less than you.
Yeah.
If I keep looking up to people who have more than me and I keep looking like that, your worth is in your character with me. The president and the homeless dude is getting the same amount of respect from me each time. Each man, each woman, same amount of respect. What you have is not going to change my level of respect for you. What you've done or what you're doing, who you're helping, who you've helped, that would.
Indeed.
But what you earned and what you have, like that'll make you level down.
Right, definitely.
Instead of level up. Like,
Indeed.
Exactly.
Follow-up question. You mentioned the wrong price. So what is the right price? Like what you think is the right price that people
feel
should
happy. To feel happy. Look, levels fell backwards is level. You want to feel good each way you're going. Like you just want to be on a level.
That's fine.
Be balanced. Like you just kind of. You want to be happy and you want to be content. And I've learned that when you live a life of chasing money, it works for some people, but then you get a lot of headaches with it. If you live a life of chasing prosperity and balance, like I know I'm gonna get money because I'm a worker.
Yeah.
Indeed,
I'm a worker. There's no way I'm not gonna make
It's not gonna come. Yeah,
you
for
know
sure.
what I mean? And I also know life has its ups and downs. Like also, I think a few years ago I started noticing how much multi-millionaires and billionaires lose multiple millions and billions all the time.
Yeah.
It's the confidence in knowing what you could do and that you're that person. Like they probably lose more money than everybody you know, than the average poor person, but they don't let their spirits break because they have confidence in their ability
Do it again.
to do it again.
Yeah.
If I did it before, I could do it again.
Definitely.
You know?
And maybe touching on to the point, going into more of the entrepreneurial side of things, I know you probably have a million different things that you do. So if you want to touch upon some of the things that you do.
Juices for Life, co-owner of Juices for Life, co-owner of Pharmacy for Life. I actually have a web, getting knee deep in Web3.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I have a real album coming out December 9th.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
I have an actual NFT project, Pharmacy Phantoms, where you're gonna get music as the utility, access to the juice bar, access to pharmacy.
Mention-
Dropping that on November 28th.
I love that you mentioned utility because people don't understand NFTs. Without utility is worthless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you also actually have a lot
As
of
a use
utility.
case. Yep.
Yeah.
So I believe in Locks album.
Yes.
I have a few collab projects. I'm pretty much
Yeah.
always busy. I'm busy around the clock. That's not good though. It's not good to be busy around the clock. I'm more of a passion hustler than anything.
Okay.
I love what I do, so I like to get to it. And be honest with you, I've lost a lot of people in my life, so I don't cherish money how the average person does. Like I lost a daughter, a father, a brother, homies, close friends, aunts. Too much to understand. I think I understand that money has a value, but not as much as we all think it does.
Indeed. Indeed.
Like for me, like you can't read. They don't print and burn lives every day.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Print and burn money every day.
Every day.
Yeah, 'cause you keep going.
You can crush this car and get another one. And
Yep.
this and that. You can't do that with people. So the value in health and just people is a different story.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at leaving a mark is what makes you great. Like I've never heard anyone ask what was in Malcolm Malcolm Martin's, JFK, or Abraham's bank account.
That's true.
It's a fact.
Never heard anybody ask that. Like,
That's
never.
true.
Like, I just know the mark they left and what they did. So I think the purpose of being a great individual is to strive to do great things. I never wondered what was in Dick Gregory's bank account. I never wondered what was in Dr. Zebby's bank account.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then you see a bunch of billionaires give their money away right before they fucking die. So
Right.
what is that? Like, you know, so I think every man's value is something different. Like, I love money because I love nice shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm materialistic to a point, but I'm just not letting that material
Get in the way.
run who I am.
And it's crazy you say that because today we did a class in Level Up, and I said, while you're chasing the money, do not get lost in the sauce, because people get lost.
You definitely get lost.
And then you miss the small moments with your family or your daughter or your son or whoever it is. Why? Because you're chasing the bag, but you don't really capitalize off the small things that could really fulfill you.
That happens all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
I definitely like that you mentioned that, you know, being around the clock and working is unhealthy.
Yeah.
In our community, if you're not grinding and you're not posting that you just got out the office at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not really working.
You gotta rest.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
You gotta rest so you have a clear state of mind.
Yeah.
And thinking. Even like a lot of us who hustle a lot, you don't sleep a lot, but you need to get your sleep. And if you're not sleeping a lot, then you gotta be able to rest and relax yourself.
Right.
It's certain things like we speak about investing, but your biggest investment is truly yourself.
It's
How
all
we
right.
do this. This is truly the best. And but like I like watches and I like cars. And all my friends who do and all that, I say, but you know, the most interesting machine is actually the human body.
Yeah.
It's actually, that's really the most interesting machine that there is. So you are your number one investment.
I also want to touch on when it comes to Pharmacy for Life, you have a really great message in this Little Pharma. Can you talk about that when it comes to your business?
I'm a little farmer. Well, I think most people who do what I do, I visualize things different. Like as you say, you get older, you get more mature.
Yeah.
Most people who have holistic businesses or sell herbs and oil, they have a lot of gripes with Western medicine, which is understandable. I feel I want to be at the point to be able to change something, you have to find what's really realistic on both sides and have the balance. Like one day, I'm the guy to paint the picture, the big pharma, that you need little pharma. Somebody right now in big pharma is missing out on a shitload of money because they refuse to get with someone like me or someone else, and they're missing out on money. It's like saying that you have a shitload of customers over here. You don't know the world. You know why you don't know the world? You're big pharma. You have billions of dollars and multiple millions of dollars, so you're not thinking about the smaller people on the scale who don't go to the doctor, who don't have health insurance, who are scared to go to certain places. You can have them as customers too, but you need someone in the middle. So to be able to change, it can't keep being the little guy thinks he's going to fight the big guy who's been around for long.
Right.
I want to infiltrate you in a positive way and let you know what I'm doing. I'm here to infiltrate. I'm here to be little pharma. I'm here to say to you, think about those people.
Yeah.
And think about how you could help and we could help change the world together. But that's going to take some time. So I don't think they're able to even look and remember the person who can't afford, you know, who's working double shifts, minimum wage. They're watching it, how they got to feed their kid.
Yeah.
They're buying the wrong food. And they may need help or want to do something in a different way, but you probably aren't tuned in or tapped in with them because they don't exist for you.
Yep.
Somebody has to make them exist. And I don't want to be the one that's, I don't like to fight a fight I can't win.
Yep.
It's not smart. So sometimes people get very passionate, which is very understandable, but I go, like, I'll go to the doctor, but I'm also find some blazing. I'm going to the holistic doctor. I'm gonna do a backup.
Yeah. Right.
You say, what, doc? This is what happened. We go over here.
Yeah.
And I'm also pick up a book or read my phone and look at people. Like there's certain things we don't do with our health, which is really simple, is investigating. And a lot of people don't do that. Like use your phone for the tool. Like if you know I have diabetes,
Right.
Google people who had diabetes who don't have diabetes anymore. Get the information, compare it. See what
do the research.
Yeah, like do your research and start narrowing things down and try to find out about what's the things you can do to pretty much survive.
Yeah. I mean, and you're giving out so much great insight. I definitely just want to backtrack. You mentioned a couple of different things. You mentioned how in our communities, people don't go to the doctor.
No.
That's a big problem. On top of that, people don't have the education that we have. And I really love how you have your store set up. Can you talk about how you have it so people understand what each product does?
Well, make sure they can be able to, when you come in, each product, clear this, but it would be some here. And each product, you get the scan, the QR code, and get the information on what the product does. Because just as we do at Juices for Life, like somebody hit me and said, your stuff is expensive, so you don't have to buy it. You just get the information and you can buy it from somewhere else.
Right.
I'm here to be helpful, and then a lot of people hit him. He's priced so fair, you find the things. I was like, don't do that. Let them do that. I think you should be able to. I think we want you to study the inside of your body how you would study everything else. Basically, at the end of the day, like you know where those is from. You know where the watch is from. You know where that thing is. You Google a movie. You Google a newer song. You Google all that. Start looking up shit from the inside of your body, like straight up, like straight up. Like when's the last time you cleaned the inside of your body? Ask yourself that. I'm pretty sure you wash your mouth, feet, ass, crotch, the whole body as much as you can. As often as you can today, but when's the last time you worried about the inside?
That's true. You bring up a really good point.
You know what I mean? And like people, there's a lot of things with this health shit that where people don't consider the inside of their body. Like I said, it's the machine. So we have the store set up where you scan, and even if you don't scan, the answers, the list is right there what the product will do for you. And your scan is just so you can lock it in your phone and have it for when you leave. But we make sure to say, here's what you're getting.
Right.
Here's what it's useful for. And these are minimal of herbs and oils, though, in the urban oil world. This is what we have. God willing, we're going to keep growing.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
And, you know, eventually one day we'll be medium farmer.
Oh, yeah, 100.
Big farmer.
Medium farmer. Soon we'll be medium farmer.
No, but it's crazy. You bring up actually a good point. Just to backtrack to that, little farmer, big farmer, middle farmer, which is kind of like going off what Chris mentioned, getting lost in the sources. Those big farmers is exactly what they do. Now there's money. Now it's corporation.
Yeah.
You don't really think about like, okay, I'm doing this on the larger scale, but what about those day-to-day people that can't afford this? And I think that's kind of where in the communities that we come in is where mainly the disadvantages are is one, things are always more expensive or not having accessible to eat, or even, honestly, even just going back is the knowledge. Like not even knowing, like, what is this? What does this do to me?
Yeah, you're right. It's access, but we don't, like here, I make sure to tell people, we get away from saying it's expensive. It's way more expensive to pay that hospital bill and be fucked up in that bed.
Exactly.
That's a
and we don't
fact.
say Jordans is expensive, Louis is expensive, the newest sneakers, the newest release, Balenciaga, Balmain, everything, iPhones, iPads, everything's fucking expensive. So you can't not complain about expensive shit for the outside of your body and synthetic things, and then complain about the expenses of things that you're putting in your body. You should actually want to be fucking bougie as fuck with the inside of your body and make sure you don't buy some shit. Because when's the last time you went to a car and put bullshit gas in your car, bullshit oil?
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Who goes down? Give me the bullshit. Bullshit gas and bullshit. You're like, my car gotta run. Like, my car gotta run. That's where I'm going. So is your body, but this is where programming comes in. Like a lot of us have been programmed for so long because our parents has been programmed.
Yeah.
So we tend to have viewpoints that are kind of fucking lost and stupid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people walk their dogs twice a day, right?
Yeah.
If the dog's not shitting twice a day, you become worried.
It's a problem.
It's a problem, but you're not asking your kid if he shats twice a day, 3 times a day. That's crazy. So you got to understand, there's a lot of things when it comes to the body that we all need help. We all need a support system anyway, and it's like, these are the things we should want to do. We just want to leave a marker saying,
and
we want to take care of each other to the bare minimum. Like,
you bring up an excellent point, which is you can't really put on the Jordans when you're 6 feet. You can't really, you know, you're not going in the hospital bed with the Jordans out. You know what I'm saying? So it's the priorities.
It's not lit.
Yeah, people got to wake up. People got to wake up. Our people, we got to wake up. Because we spend so much money. Holidays, look at the old money that we spent.
Crazy.
But we don't gift herbs and minerals. Why not?
It's crazy.
It's going to change the dynamic of our families. It's going to make us feel better. We're going to look better. Everything's going to be better. Everything comes into fruition when our inner core is healthy. And that's what we got to understand. And we got Styles P who's doing such great work. And actually, Styles P, you spoke at a Chase event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
It was speaking a lot of it.
I mean, yeah, but I said
it was pretty cool because they were highlighting black couples that are in business together. So me and my wife were there as pharmacy for life people.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's cool to be noticed for putting in the work. I like to be under the radar and just kind of go forward. I was actually surprised. You when you put in work, it becomes natural. But as I said, this job makes me understand that it doesn't matter who's calling me or what's calling me. I have to do my job. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Chase or the guy down the block. If you recognize the work, I'm glad the work is being recognized and we push forward. But like I tell people, I make sure to not get egotistical in the health field. I'm just a messenger.
Right.
I'm just a messenger. Like, you know what I mean? There's other people who have done this before me. I'm not the inventor of fruits and veggies, herbs and oil. I'm just passionate about it, and I go really hard. But this message is all about message.
Yeah.
So, am I on the front line? Yeah. Hell yeah, fuck yeah, all the time. I'm on, but I'm on the front line and go, we all supposed to be on the front line. Like, that's, once you get this message, because what we do, I'm not going to be alive to see what I want to see. I won't nowhere near be alive until the day there's until the day there's a juice bar or a health spot on every corner in the hood, like it's a liquor store, a bodega, and fast food. My job isn't done, so I'm just starting. I doubt I'll be alive to see that, but it will have started. It'll be rolling, and people will be getting on top of it. Because, you know, what's the use if you don't? What's the use of having nice shit if what's the use of having a fucking life if you're never gonna benefit anybody else's life?
That's a fact.
Like, you know, you want nice shit, you want to do dope shit, but you want to be able to help too. You want to be able to help someone out in some way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the feeling you get when somebody say, yo, I took y'all tips and I made some bread, or learning, like, you know what I mean?
Indeed.
It feels good to see somebody get on game and push forward and just understand what all is going on. So same shit.
Yeah, and that's the core behind being a public servant. We are all we are here to serve others and serve each other. That's why in our communities, oftentimes we compete with each other instead of collaborating with each other.
Yeah.
You being in the music game, how will you talk about collaboration and everything that you do?
I think collaboration is the key to business, not even just music. You could look outside of music right now. Like you see Kith with BMW, you see Freem with this, you see potato chips joining up, cereals. So the art of being able to collab and tap into someone else's crowd and they tap into your crowd, that's fair exchange.
Right.
And even if one's more wealthy and one's more not so wealthy, it's still fair exchange because of energy and you get to learn. You want to, for me, that's how I personally feel. Like, there's a lot of big brands that need small brand recognition because they have no culture with their big brand. They're just a big brand making money, but they're not tapped into the culture. So, and then there's somebody who's small, who's not making a big effect, but they tapped into the culture. So the spirit of collaboration and being smart is just the spirit of unity. And unity is in the word community. Right. So that should kind of that should be kind of hand in hand to understand. If I can help you and you can help me and we can help each other, that's a pretty neat thing.
And I think one thing when it comes to collaboration, which is actually a good bounce off, is you mentioned how you've lost friends along the way, depending on different bullshit, just not getting along. What do you think about when it comes to one word which you kind of mentioned, which was ego? You know, a lot of people have ego in terms of like, oh, you know, Style P doing this, but like, you know, I need to do this. What do you think about that?
Ego and pride are killer, man, depending on how ignorant he is. You know? But I could say that for my own past self. I let my ego and pride run who I was for years, which, I mean, I think every man's journey is meant to be, though. Like, you know what I mean? I think that same ego and pride give me the force of nature to say, all right, I'm doing this and learn and grow. But yeah, your ego and pride definitely could get you killed. That's in the figurative world and in the business world. You want to surround yourself around good energy so you don't have to deal with that. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes the creator removes people out of your life. Sometimes you remove people out of your life. But I think the biggest thing in business is just not being, when I'm doing business, I make sure to not involve my emotions anymore. Because then my ego and pride is going to kick in. And then I'm going to do something stupid or say something stupid. Or I am going to if I don't, once in a blue, I am going to let my emotions go there because I also don't, if my gut feeling is, I like to follow my gut too. So if my gut is telling me this is going to go wrong, I'm going to get out of it fast. Right. And, you know, I'm going to drop my ego and pride and walk away and not be involved. So it works both ways, you know?
I got another question for you, and that's around, not even a question, but I definitely want to just give appreciation for you, all the work that you did for people that have asthma. If you go to his IG, the website, you saw people were stuck to ventilators during the pandemic, and you were able to save their lives. Like that's huge.
Played a big contribution.
How do you feel about? I know you gotta feel good about that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to help people. Like I said, we didn't invent none of these products. We just spread the message. But it's an awesome thing to spread wealth.
Yeah.
Through health. Like, you know what I mean? That's the real, for me, I want you to be healthy so you go, once you healthy, your body is wealthy. Yeah. I'm not talking about financial, but I'm talking about, like, I'm a zillionaire in spirit. I'm a zillionaire in spirit. Like, I'm Mansa Musa of spirit. I'm Mansa Musa of spirit, bro. Seriously, because you feel good. I mean, it feels great. Like, I always, you know, it always had been, for me, God's family, but God, family, hip-hop, and hip-hop went fourth. Hip-hop went to fourth on my list, you know what I mean? It's heal. And because you understand healing is part of God's work and part of family's work.
We were talking about all the lives that you impacted. You also have a big emphasis when it comes to mucus being one of the biggest vehicles for illness and death.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make this up, but if you look, I didn't invent this, but if you, they let you know that meat and dairy causes mucus. Mucus causes cancer. I didn't invent this. This is a known fact from plenty of your doctors. Yeah. Before I was alive, and probably more that'll probably let you know after I'm gone. But yeah, I mean, it's very simple. I think the body definitely needs a natural amount of mucus and phlegm to survive, but not excess. Right. Most diseases start in the gut, and excess mucus is going to travel other places and lead to giving you inflammation or a cancer of some sort. Yeah. And we're just big on eat healthy and take things. I like to practice balance. Like I like to tell people, practice balance. Like we don't like to discourage people. Right. I am plant-based. I think people have a hard time talking to a lot of plant-based people because they feel they're obnoxious or judging them. So I try to tell people, I'm not God. I'm pretty sure when God made animals, he knew somebody was going to eat it. Or something was going to happen somehow, or somewhere the message got lost. And people didn't know, but I just say protect yourself.
Right.
Survival's gangster.
Yes, sir.
Protect yourself. Get products and eat foods. Eat colorful first and foremost. Before you even think about herbs and oils, it's about eating colorful.
Yes.
A lot of people don't eat colors. Like they're not eating the orange, the yellows, the purples, the greens, and it's just the meat and the rice.
And the rice,
and that's not smart nor safe. So we say, just, I don't know, we care about people, man. We just care about people. Like I just want people to be healthy. I mean, I think the more you get into health and you're in this field, like I started in this field, it started because I understood the differences in poor neighborhoods and affluent neighborhoods, and I was really trying to find a way to make a change for my people. My people. Now, as you go on and you get healthy, I started understanding, wait, all right, my people are first on the list and we're the target, and that's because of all of the systematic things that have been put in place for us to be first on the list and the target. But then as you start paying attention, it's like white people don't know what the fuck they're doing either. The whole Midwest is sick. They all eating this and that. So it becomes a mission to help all people. Like you start noticing, I was thinking from a city standpoint, and a big city, a major city standpoint, what's going on. But as you move around and traveling through music, I'm like, wait, a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's not just us. And that's why when you look at America's numbers,
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
obesity.
It's up there.
Listen, it's everything. So, and then when you look at the fast food system and how things work, so it's our job to just spread health, because once you become a more spiritual being and open-minded too, like, so if I see a half black, half white kid, fuck, I'm gonna help half of them out. It's dumb.
Right.
So all these things, but this is why eating clean is important. Like even when you think about that, you think about how many mixed people there are in the world. How the fuck does racism even still exist? Programming, not being healthy.
Right.
People not being able to think out the box for themselves to go, how I'm gonna treat someone who's both.
Right.
So you have to be a little smarter in how you carry yourself. And I think that's why I love to eat and smoke plants.
Stay green.
Stay planted and
stay grounded. Yeah,
staying grounded, you know?
I love that. Do you meditate yourself? Do you meditate?
Yeah, yes, I do.
When did you start meditating and why?
I've been meditating for a long time because I would have to meditate to make my rhymes. Sometimes, you know, and then it became healthier as it went. But I learned to kind of tune things out and relax to get my work done. And I'm a fidgety person by nature, so it keeps me calm and keeps me relaxed. And like what's funny, before a show, most people think I'm gonna have a fucked up show. Like, is this guy even up for it? Like I get real calm and I get real relaxed. I feel meditation is important, just for the thought, just to be able to get the thoughts out.
Right.
Like, so I had gotten used to it doing it before. I make a rhyme anyway, so I'm in the room, and the big part is because you're in a room with a bunch of energy, and as I feel like a sponge or a conductor sometimes.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to tune it out.
Right.
You learn how to tune it out. And
follow-up question or comment. Back in the hood or in the hood, if you mention meditation, it seems as a whack thing to do. Oftentimes in our culture, we preach the wrong shit. We preach the wrong stuff.
Motherfuckers you around. Like anybody who, that's one thing, like I've never been an advocate of hood people being stupid. Like just because you're from the hood don't mean you gotta be stupid and it's not for us. Who's us?
Right.
Meditation was probably created by the first people who walked the earth, which would be us.
Yeah.
I would think so. That's like, my background is a gangster rapper, but everybody knows I love books. I came in saying I was a gangster and a gentleman, not just gangster.
Your first album.
You know what I mean?
First album,
Gangster and a gentleman. A man should have manners, should say thank you, be polite, please, conduct yourself well. So I'm not a firm believer in people being able, I don't like being put in a box.
Agreed, yeah.
I would never let anybody put me in a box or feel you could just lump me in a group of people and saying this is what we do or what we don't do. Fuck no, I'm an individual. Fuck no.
I love it. It's energy, I'm telling you.
I'm an individual. You're not gonna put me in the box because you're limited thinking. Yeah. You're a limited thinker at that point.
Right.
And I tell the person that, like, I don't certain shit I don't accept because I'm not gonna allow that for myself.
Right.
Like,
it goes back to what you said around the people you surround with.
Yeah,
like energy. Like that alone can bring you down big.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
it goes back like in the hood, when you're the wrong group, the wrong crew, what are you going to end up doing? The same shit they're doing.
Same shit.
You know, so once you divert yourself from that, once you release that energy, you become more programmed, you start meditating, all these different things that we talk about every day at the level of a, you know, enterprise brand, it's natural. It becomes natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly a reminder to the youth that it's okay to be smart. Like,
no,
like you should be smart. You know what I'm saying?
Now
like,
it's okay. Because you should strive.
Yeah,
to be as smart as you possibly can.
And sharp.
At all times.
Indeed.
Like most rappers are nerds. Well, MCs are good lyricists.
Right.
You don't just get to play with good words from being a dumb motherfucker.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't even work like that. Like I tell, and especially like I tell all inspiring MCs and rappers, words are your weapons. That's what, not just rap, that's in period in life. Like, you could physically, any of us physically could just say, if we're at war, you could physically go kill 100 people or as many as you can, but at some point you have to stop. With a word, there's whole countries that send people to war with words.
Right.
Now think about that kind of power with words. That's different. The power of the tongue is tongue's mightier than the sword, and that is a fact at all given times. Because if the general ain't on the front line, he making a call.
Right, in the back.
So, like the general's making the call, like this was gonna happen and this was gonna happen. That's words,
right? Because
he was able to convince that many people that it's worth going to war,
right?
And have that many people listen to him or whoever called it. Now think about how mighty that conversation or words had to be. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no war started without the words first.
Right.
There's no war ended without the words. There's no in between without having some kind of word or dialogue. Or that's pretty much it. So it's the way you. I mean, everybody, you know this from how you talk to your loved one, how you talk to your children, how you talk to your dog, how you talk to strangers, how you talk to someone you're trying to do business with.
Right.
It's the power of words and then also the tone and energy you have when using them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Indeed. And the reason why I mention that is because oftentimes we preach the wrong stuff, you know, and the youth believes that. And we talked earlier about how oftentimes we preach that through rap.
Yeah.
And the newer generation, when it comes to hip hop, what's your thought when it comes to that?
Balance. You got to balance it all. I like to look at, like, I don't like to be put in a box. Like I said, like we often as artists and creators, like I believe in being free as a creator, but I also believe that if you have a conscience, then you have that responsibility to try to walk the line and help people. But I can't say where in your journey you're supposed to have that. Like my journey is my journey, and that makes me who I am. Right. I can't say that the next man is supposed to do that because we don't hold any other part of society to that standard but us. Like we don't hold, nobody goes, this fucking Grand Theft Auto game is out of pocket.
Right.
Like nobody goes, Squid Games is out of pocket. Nobody but when it comes to hip, nobody goes, the last movie by such and such. But when it comes to hip hop, we put ourselves in a box because that's what's happening. But I also look at the wealth, poverty to wealth gap, and then the violence to violence gap.
Right.
Like we also, we let the news dictate and say what we're saying about ourselves. There's plenty of other good stories too. And the kids making the music, one, they don't run the label. One, they're not the program directors. Now, those who are running a label and a program directors have plenty of other music to choose from as well. Right. But the blame will be put on these artists instead of us taking the full responsibility. Right. You see what I'm saying about definitely. It being us? So I like to now look outside of the box because who else gets held to this? Like as we say, like, who's addressing the young white kids that are shooting up the schools? How often has this happened? It's not being addressed enough because they're not put in a box like we're being put in a box. And why would the same kid who will shoot his brother in the hood, why would he be scared to shoot police? You know why? He's in fear of knowing what's going to happen to his whole neighborhood. So the kid who shoots up the school and the kid who shoots up somebody and that's from where he's from, think about the two different mind states they have. Right. This kid is scared the fuck of authority. If you're going to shoot somebody, it shouldn't be one of your own. But you're that scared of authority where this person is not, because that's the country we live in, where we should be the same, but we're not. Right, and all scales need to be evened out where all people saying, how do we help each other and we fix each other? Right. That's where being healthy comes in play. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of being able to weigh it out, but it's also, people never publicize the beautiful stories. Right. And that's because who owns the media? Right. It's like, you know what I mean? Definitely. So, but it's a way where if you're an artist, all humans should be responsible for trying to make other humans better. Indeed. But I like to look at it like, if I wasn't as styles I was before, I would have never got to this point in my journey. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you know, the same way that when I was an ego and powerful artist who didn't walk around with security, we're going, if you cross me, you're getting fucked up. Like, I don't, like, that same trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and that journey made me as much passionate about healing people. So everybody's journey is for a certain reason. And I try to not weigh my beliefs on the next person. I don't know what part of the journey he's on right now or she's on right now. Right. So, but if you could, as a human being, try to help someone and be helpful, do that. But like I said, I don't like to weigh down on my people the way everyone else weighs down. Like I literally had an interview about, somebody called me about the drill music, and they was going, I said, you didn't say one thing about the program directors of the radio. I said, not one. Like you zeroed in on a kid who has no power. Right. He has no power over this situation, but we never look at the whole scale of the corporate people making the money off of this. Now on the back end, on the back end. Right. Like, and that's pretty wicked. Yeah. It's pretty wicked because when you're going to put somebody and point, you got to point at everybody you need to point to, not just the smallest guy on the totem. Right. It doesn't make sense. Definitely. And we get caught up in that box a lot. Yeah. And that's why I said, like, that's why I say, like, if you see my shows or when we do stuff, I say we police ourselves. We come to have a good time, but if you came here in peace, you leaving in peace. You don't leave the same way. So we should be able to walk the fine line, because also, I can't say about now, because now I'm 48, but I know when I was coming up, a lot of us were reflecting what we knew. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was saying a lot of shit that I kind of like knew, unfortunately, and it's sad, like, you know what I mean? But like, shit, even as a rapper, it took some time for me to not go outside with 2 guns every day. Like 2 guns up wasn't no bullshit, just rap. It was like, if I'm outside, I'm bringing 2 guns. Like, you know what I mean? And when you come up and you've sold drugs and been outside and you've done certain things, until you have someone, no pun intended, but to help you level up your mind, you kind of stumble and stuck in different places. Like, so it's more so understanding what you want out of life, finding something you love, picking a journey and going with it. Yeah. Going for it, like, you know?
Yeah, and then from my end, my last question is around, you know, your birthday's coming up. What is the next thing you're excited for in the next chapter?
I'm excited to just keep expanding.
Yeah.
That's to wake up and say we just want to find more ways to heal people and do it on a bigger level. You know what I mean? For me, I just want to grow and be able to do pharmacy for life, juices for life, and get into some other businesses where we're able to provide health in a much stronger fashion and manner.
Like you mentioned, every corner.
Yeah,
every corner.
You know what I mean? I wanna. That's what I aim is. I mean, people may ask. I forgot. People may ask me. Oh, I'm really at a point where I guess I feel good because I kind of don't want for anything at this particular moment.
Definitely. We also want to give you
level up.
swag. Got a hoodie.
I got my level up.
And this is for the missus right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
I got my level up stuff.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, fully leveled up.
This is fully leveled up. For sure.
Definitely. Last question from my end. What are the biggest lessons learned or key things that you would like to share with the youth, with the community?
My biggest lesson learned is, and the community is, take care of yourself. To take care of yourself.
Right.
We all go through a lot of shit.
Right.
Take care of yourself, love yourself, be kind to yourself, put yourself first. Like a lot of us, especially in our community, we have this bravado thing or this male thing where you can't put your wife, your mother, or your child before you. You have to be the number one priority, so they understand the same thing about that, and it transfers. It's like, I can't take care of you if I can't take care of myself. And when you start having an idea of taking care of everyone else and not yourself, you're just taking off the clock. So what we've learned to do is prioritize ourselves. Me and my wife, I'm my number one priority. You're your number one priority.
Right.
Together, we're each other's number one priority. But you have to have a fine line of understanding. To give people your best, you have to be the best you.
Yeah.
Or it's impossible if it's not. It's mathematically impossible to give somebody your best if you're not giving yourself your best.
Right.
It just doesn't add up.
I love that.
So take care of yourself, love yourself, and then spread that energy, and it goes.
Definitely.
And that energy just goes and it connects. And I would also say find your soul tribe nowadays. We in the age of information. I ain't gonna go too far, but we're in the age of information. We're in the age of light. Line yourself up with people who are like-minded.
Yeah.
And love the things you love and let it flow.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
I love that. Styles P, appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you.
My brother.
Appreciate
y'all.
Love.
Family, this is what we do. Listen, let's get it. We're not gonna do a tour of all the products. Here we go. Let's get it.